Hello and welcome back to the shop. Today it's a tale of two extremes. We are going from the library-like silence of an electric car to the brutal 5-cylinder screams of an Audi RS.
And it's a tough one. This Audi RS3. Frontal collision, airbags deployed, dashboard destroyed. It's a proper mess. First up, this Kia EV6 GT. Fantastic machine, but it got a little love tap on the rear bumper. We're gonna fix it up fast, make it look like nothing ever happened.
Let me tell you the story of how I bought this modern electric Kia. A car that, at first glance, didn't look like a smart investment at all. It was sitting in an insurance yard, surrounded by damaged cars. The kind of place where dreams go to retire. I looked at it and thought, yeah, this one might actually be worth something. The car was bought back for £6,000, which in today's market is either a bargain or a terrible life decision. The damage? A hit to the rear bumper, a few scratches on the wing. Nothing dramatic, no explosions, no fire, no electric shock. So far, so good. Once I started inspecting it properly, I realized we'd need a few extra parts, some brackets and the rear bumper support. Nothing crazy. We'll order them directly from Kia using the official part numbers. And look at the state this Audi RS3 bonnet was in. Honestly, it looked like it had survived a small meteor strike. But good news, the replacement wing has arrived for it too, so we're ready to start bringing this beast back to life.
And the scariest part? The framing machine. We need to strap it down and see if the chassis rails are twisted. It's like heavy metal yoga. We have to pull it back to factory specs.
However, the real headache is the RS3. Serious front impact. It ordered the full cocktail, popped airbags and a smashed glove box area. Grab your coffee or maybe something stronger. We're getting technical. Let's go.
Careful with the wiring. We're stripping the rear bumper and light to see the naked roof underneath. Outside, a scratch, inside, a crime scene. We found cracked supports and guides. We are tossing the broken bits and installing brand new OEM parts. No zip ties here, folks.
Once the bumper was off, the damage was obvious. Even if it looked like a gentle touch, the force went straight into the plastic supports. See this crack? If I was lazy and left this, the bumper gap would look like the Grand Canyon. It would never align with the fender. We're still waiting for the right side bracket, because apparently one small piece of plastic can bring an entire car restoration to a complete stop. This is how it looks on the left side, and this is how it should be mounted, because without it, the bumper is just hanging there, relying on hope, gravity and good intentions. Once this bracket is finally in place, we'll be able to align the bumper properly, instead of pretending that, yeah, that's close enough. So now, let's begin reassembling all the rear bumper components, carefully, patiently, and praying we don't end up with mystery bolts left over at the end.
Now we are replacing the damaged parts with brand new one, because bent plastic and cracked brackets add character, but only to abandoned cars, not this one. The bracket is finally in place. A small part, but a big moment, the kind of mechanics celebrate quietly inside. With the bumper off, we can clearly see all the guide rails and mounting points, and the structure is completely intact. Which means there's absolutely no reason not to start the final assembly. On a car like Kia, details really do make the difference, especially when you want to look at factory, not repair it on a Friday afternoon. And here are the side moldings from Kia. They've got a few small scratches, so yes, they'll need a repainting. Because when you are this far in, good enough is no longer an option. Now we're checking the panel gaps, nice and even, from top to bottom, exactly how they should be. On a GT like this, if the lines aren't perfect, it just looks wrong. There's no hiding bad alignment on a car with this kind of presence. All this effort is there to protect a surprisingly generous space. Kia gives you a 520-liter boot, and it is important that the tailgate closes perfectly over the rear bumper. What's left now is fitting the interior plastic trim on the tailgate, the final detail that no one notices unless they are done badly. On the Audi we are bringing the shape back to life. align the wings and the bonnet as a part of the framing process. We're also replacing the plastic housing where the oil filter sits, which was damaged during the impact. Plastic parts sacrifice themselves, so the important things don't. And honestly, that's the entire job descriptions. Meanwhile, back on the Kia, the ambient lighting is being connected. After that, the protective plastic under tray goes on. And then no excuses left. It's time for a test drive. And this is the cover that still needs to be installed. It even comes with sound insulation on the inside, because silence is a feature, not a luxury. And here it is, the Kia ready for the road. The designers kept the brand identity, that iconic tiger look, but adapted it for the electric era. There is no classic cooling grille anymore. Instead, we got a digital tiger face, cleaner, shaper, and a lot more intention. Everything here is about aerodynamics and aggression. Not loud aggression, the quiet, electric kind that surprise you at the traffic lights. Many people know this car is built on the same platform as the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Mechanically, they are basically twin sisters. Same bonus, different personality. This one definitely chose the sporty side.
Now let's talk about a downside. Notice anything missing? There is no rear wiper. Kia claims this aerodynamic spoiler channels air down to clean the glass. Sounds fancy in theory. But is it practical? I doubt it. Especially in the city, when you're crawling at low speeds, that aero cleaning just doesn't work. But hey, the bodywork is flawless now. I'm grabbing the keys. The Kia is ready for the final verdict on the asphalt. Let's see how she drives. Meanwhile, back in the shop, we're knee-deep in mechanics. Let's check the progress on this Audi A5 timing belt replacement. This is the 2.0-liter diesel engine. Just look at how much stuff we had to strip away just to reach the timing system. It's a serious job.
Now, let's take a peek inside the engine bay to see how the new setup fits in. And here's the graveyard of all parts. The old belt, the tensioners, the rollers and the water pump. Everything is out. Let's take a look inside the cabin. Inside, the theme is eco-friendly. Kia used recycled materials everywhere, from plastic bottles turned into fabric to vegan leather. It feels premium, but with a clear conscience. But the real magic is the utility. You have USB ports everywhere, but the cherry on top is the full-size power socket. Basically, this car is a giant battery on wheels. You can plug in your laptop to work remotely from a mountaintop, or why not, hook up an espresso machine if you want fresh coffee in the middle of nowhere. And speaking of power, the 800-volt architecture is impressive. It charges ultra-fast, pulling current even more aggressively than the early Porsche Taycan models. Stop for a coffee and 15 minutes later you're gone. If you're stressed, the system even has sounds of nature built in for relaxation.
Thankfully, they made the gear selector a lot more stylish. No old-school manual lever pretending it belongs in an electric car. This one actually makes sense for a modern EV. Enough talking. Let's see how it feels when it's moving. Quiet, no squeaks, no rattles, which is always a good sign. Let's talk about the driver's throne. Kia use materials here that don't just look good, they feel premium to the touch. We have generous microfiber inserts on the seat and backrest to keep you from sliding, combined with eco leather on the sides. The adjustments allow you to quickly find the ideal driving position, and the ergonomic design makes long trips surprisingly comfortable for such a sporty car. It's the perfect balance between a track weapon and a family cruiser. When you get behind the wheel, the first thing that hits you is this augmented reality head-up display. It doesn't just project your speed onto the windshield, it literally draws the navigation onto the road. The turn arrows seem to float a few meters ahead of the car, tracking exactly the lane you need to take. It feels a bit like Iron Man. And for safety, Kia has an ace up its sleeve, the blind spot view monitor. When you signal left or right, the instrument cluster instantly turns into a video feed showing you everything in your blind spot. It's brilliantly simple and saves you from cyclists or hidden cars. Plus, you get the full safety suite: auto braking, lane keep assist, and adaptive cruise control that reads speed limits. People always worry about charging times, but the EV6 GT kills that anxiety. If you find a high-speed 350 kilowatt charger at a gas station, the 800-volt architecture works its magic. In just 18 minutes, you go from 10% all the way up to 80% battery. The technical sheet says this car has 585 horsepower, but after I jumped in the driver's seat, make that 586. Although, to be honest, this last horse is a bit heavy and loves coffee too much.
Listen to that sound. When you lift off, sound exactly like trolleybus.
Yeah, honestly, it's a bit annoying. Feels like I'm back on the number 22 bus in Chisinau heading downtown during rush hour.
Well, in that case, pass the fare forward please, pay the driver.
Relax, boss, I've got a monthly pass.
So the Kia is road ready and the RS3 is finally on the right track. Drop a like and subscribe to follow new rebuilds. Thanks for watching.